First of all, thank you very much, everyone, for joining me this afternoon. I appreciate you all taking the time out of your day to learn a little bit about Turnitin. The process today is going to be very, very simple. We're just going to look at how you use Turnitin Similarity within Microsoft Teams and also within Moodle. I'll explain how this experience looks in both products. And if you have any questions, if you want to ask them in English, feel free to do so. Or if you want to write in the chat, or ask Ladislav, then he can translate them for me. That's not a problem. Just to introduce myself, my name is Jason. I'm a senior professional services consultant here at Turnitin. I deal with the implementations and training for our strategic universities around the world. So in many, many different regions. And I'm based here in the UK, in Newcastle, up in the Northeast. So just to give you an understanding of what similarity is, the whole point of similarity check is to make sure that you can check your work for potential plagiarism and misconduct. So we're able to check against the largest database in the world. We're able to check for text manipulations, and we're able to integrate this within your environment very, very easily. So it integrates with Moodle, it integrates with Microsoft Teams, so you can use it exactly how you would use everything else. Just to explain how the tool will work within Moodle, I'll just really quickly show you. So if I was to go into my course here, which we have, and I'm going to go into this one right here, and we will add a new activity, just like you would with your normal product. You'll then just go for a regular assignment. You will give this a name, so we can call this one and then you can do all of the things that you would usually do in Moodle. So allow submissions from a certain date, the due date, remind you to grade, and so on. We can choose the submission type, maximum number of uploaded files, file size limit, so we can see there that that is maximized at 2 megabytes. And then all we have to do is go to Turnitin Integrity plugin. So if we click on that, we can activate. We don't want that one, we want this one. There we go. Enable Turnitin. We can filter out the bibliography and quotations. We can index all of the submissions if we wanted to store them in our database. And we can choose to basically create reports immediately and again, refreshing them on the due date. So that due date that you have set up here. So on the 13th of February, we'll refresh the reports to check if the students have copied against each other. We want to allow the students to view the reports. And then once we've done all of that, we can save and display. So it's really, really straightforward. For Microsoft Teams, it's even easier. So for Microsoft, what we have to do is just go into our Teams area, go to our assignments. And if we create an assignment, we will go through, put in all the information, and then we simply just tick this box. And we just say, yes, we want to enable Turnitin. So in Microsoft Teams, it's even easier. There are no settings, there's nothing there at all. So it's very, very straightforward. In Moodle, what we then do is we go to view the submissions. And you can see there we have all of our students. We could obviously upload a paper on behalf of any of these students, really. So if we wanted to, let's say, upload on behalf of one of these students, we could do, or we could see their submission. I already have one, so I'm just going to open that up. And we can see there that we have a submission by this student. We can see that the paper is there. So we can open that up. Might take a couple of seconds. There we go. And we can then see our submission. So I'm just going to re-include this one. And we can see that that one is 47% similar to other sources. So we have matches to various different areas. We can see all of those right here. And we can see the bibliography is being excluded. Also, the citations are being excluded as well. The experience is very similar in Microsoft Teams. So if I was to go into one of my sessions here, we go to this essay one, for example, we can see Nikhil has turned in a paper. And the process is pretty much the same, except this time we see it here in the paper, view the report, and then we end up within the same window. So it looks exactly the same. So very, very similar to what you would see within Moodle. So the Microsoft Teams side of things, that's basically the entire experience. I'll show you the rest of this in Moodle, just so you can see the rest of it. So the paper is exactly the same. There's no real difference there. The only real difference in Microsoft Teams is that when I open up this report, you'll notice that this is currently 100%. There's 100% similarity here. If I exclude this, you can see there that this is not being saved. So I can get rid of all of these. Let's maybe get rid of submitted work, so make it easier for me. And we can see this is now 14% similarity. Now, if I go and close this paper down, you can see it's still 100. And if I open it up, it's gone back to how it was when I first opened it. So in Microsoft Teams, it doesn't have the full capabilities that you would get within Moodle. So if I go to Moodle, you can see right now that this is 32% because I put something back in. If I refresh this, you can see it's now 47. So whatever changes I make in Moodle in here will pull through into Moodle. So what we can see in front of us is we can see a number of different matches. So we've got source number 3, which is from this website here. We have source number 1, which is from this website here. And we have source number 2 from here, and source number 4 right there. Now, what we want to do is we want to have a look at this paper and see what is different, what is being changed, and so on. So I'm just going to make sure that everything is on. There we go. Yeah. So if I go into this now and I want to see what is truly unoriginal, I can see there is no citation here. There is no citation here or here. There is a citation here and there is a citation here. So if I switch those off, you can see it's now going to pick up more information. So we can see we now have 50% of this being picked up. Let's get rid of quotes and bibliography. They're also going to be picked up. So you can see there we now have a different report. Put all of those back in. There we go. So really, really nice and simple to use. If we decided that, let's say, for example, this section here was fine. We wanted to say, okay, the student is allowed to do this. This source 2 right here, we want to exclude this. So we can click on the number 2, click exclude this text, and then click cited or quoted material. That will get rid of anything that matches to this, and we are now down to 32%. So really, really easy to navigate through. A very important thing to know is there is no good similarity percentage. So you can have high similarity, low similarity. Just because it's high or low does not mean that it's good or bad. It just means that there is more similar text or less similar text. Sometimes high similarity is fine. Sometimes low similarity is bad. Sometimes low similarity is good. Sometimes high is bad. It's up to you to decide what is plagiarism, what is done wrong. Is a student actually writing this? It's up to you to make that decision, not us. We just tell you this is similar. Now, what we can see in this report is that the student has missed a lot of citations, so that could be a problem. But we can also see that there are flags in this one. So we can see there's a flag right here, and there's also a flag right here. Now, the flags, what they're doing is they're telling us that this student has deliberately tried to manipulate their document, try to change it so our system can't pick up the information. So if we have a look at those flags, we can actually see that the replaced characters, there are Cyrillic letters in here. So if I zoom in, they are not actually R's. And we can see that there are 16 Cyrillic characters. So that's telling us the student has tried to change those letters to try and cheat the system. What that does for us is it highlights it to us so we can see that the student has actually tried to change the text. So we know that they've tried to manipulate it. We can also see that down here there is another flag, which is hidden text. And what the student has done is they've put white letters in between each word so that they can hide that information. So they can see that, you know, this is now one word. They could even fill in these blank sections here with words and change them to white so that the system would increase their word count. All of those things we would want to obviously check for. Now, once we've done that and we've been through, let's say we look at the similarity report and we decide that we want to remove this as well. There we go. So now we're down to 29%. We have a discussion with the student about that full 29%. So we can say to them, okay, so there are two sources that we see, this one at the top and this one here, where there is no citation. Can you explain why? The student may have made a mistake, or they may have deliberately done this, and you need to have a conversation with them about how to help them. If you ever want to delete the paper, so you've decided that this was uploaded by mistake and it's gone into the database, you can click Submission Details. You can then copy this paper ID and you can send it to your administrator, and they will be able to log in and delete that paper from the database for you. Do not delete the paper from here. So do not try and delete the paper or anything like that from this one, because that will not actually delete it from the database. You want to leave it there and send it to the administrator. They can then delete it from the database for you. And if we have a look at this now, we can see there that it's 29%. And you could then obviously go ahead and grade that within Moodle. The student can also see this. So if I decided that I wanted to be a student, I could log in and I could go in and I could see my report as well. The difference is that the student would not see the flags, but they would see everything else. They can't make changes to this, but they can obviously see that, you know, what they've uploaded and if there are any problems with it. If you ever want to download the report itself, you can actually click on Share and click Download, and that will create a PDF for you that you can share with your colleagues, or maybe with the student's parents or with another member of the faculty. And if we have a look at that PDF, it just looks a little bit like this. And we can see all of that information right there.
May I question?
Yeah, fire away.
Okay. Once the students will see the report and then make some changes in the text accordingly to this report, so he can put let's say citation in there, it's okay, but he also can change wording to avoid it. As a professor, can I see that there were previous version with a higher similarity, and then there were some corrections, or there is no versioning of the document?
So there's no versioning in here. You could create multiple different assignments or an assignment with multiple parts, because you can do that in Moodle. You can say that this is part 1, this is part 2, and then you could see each version. But what will happen if it's just a normal assignment is the student will upload their work. They can then make changes to that document and it will override the previous one, so you won't see the version. We are looking at bringing that feature out. So we are looking at bringing a versioning feature out, just not right now, because we're focused on AI right now, on ChatGPT. So we're doing a lot of work there, but we are looking at bringing out the ability to see versions.
So, for example, there was a possibility to check that the document will be checked on the time of the deadline of the submission. So there will be only one report, not the first one created at the time of submission and then at the deadline. Am I right?
Yeah, so the student, obviously the student can upload multiple times and they can see the report each time. But what you will see is that as an instructor, you will see the report that was uploaded latest. So if it was the final one, that's the one that you'll see. So whichever document they uploaded last, that's the report that you would see. They wouldn't then be able to upload after the due date, but you would obviously be able to see the one that they uploaded before.
Are there any email alerts or similar tools to inform me as a professor that there is a uploaded document and there is some report available?
Not within Turnitin. I think there may be within Moodle that a student has uploaded if you have it set up in Moodle, but not in Turnitin perspective. But if you have it set up in Moodle to let you know that the student has uploaded a document, then that would be available.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Does anyone else have any questions at all?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, fire away.
My name is Gabriel Semenichin. I'm vice rector, and we already started presentations last week. So my colleagues already saw implementation in MS Teams and LMS Moodle.
Yeah.
And now I saw from your presentation that in Moodle, maybe coming back to previous discussion, then in MS Teams and LMS Moodle, I can set messages that comes to me, and I can prevent or newer version by setting a number of versions to 1, or by setting that similarity check is done just after the due date. So it means that it just once at the end.
You can also do that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably I do not have the same possibility in MS Teams, because in MS Teams checking is realized immediately after submission.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
In Moodle you can, not within Microsoft.
Yeah. Okay. So it means that I can a little bit influence this by the policy that is provided by the LMS Teams. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and also I saw in LMS Moodle on your screen that there was a setting that the newer or just the last version is included in the database.
Yeah.
Am I right?
That's right. Yeah. So basically only the last version will be the one that goes into the database.
Okay, because that was a question of my colleague, that suppose that students you are dealing with thesis, for example, and you have already first version, and you send the first version to the Turnitin.
Yeah.
And after that, it is already indexed in the database. And if I send a newer version, the newer version is compared also with respect to the previous one. So it will be automatically recognized as there is 100 similarity, or very high. So can I prevent it?
Yep. So if it's within the same assignment, it will override the previous version. So if it's within this assignment right here, it will always override the previous one. If it's in 2 different assignments, then it will store both of them.
Okay. Suppose I will use not MS Teams or LMS Moodle, but I will use your portal.
Yes.
And in portal, I can decide that this version will not be included into database, because I believe that I will have a newer version, and I am just interested in this stage.
Yeah, you could do the same thing in Moodle. So you could just choose to not index the submissions. And you can do the same thing within our website. So if you went to the website and you went through your unique URL, you could set it so that it only indexes the one that you want to index. So you could choose, okay, I want to upload a file, but I do not want this to go into the database. Okay, now I want to upload the file and it will go into the database. You can choose that option as well.
Okay, and the last question I have collected, that it is not my experience, because when I tested it, I obtained a reply immediately in all cases, but somebody told me that there was a PDF file. I don't know whether it was a text file or maybe it was scanned. So in such a case, it's difficult to do any analysis. But it was in state awaiting.
Was that within Moodle, or was that within?
I am not sure. Maybe the person is connected here, so he can add the details.
Yeah.
Or she can add details. I do not remember, but it was in state waiting.
Yeah. So it depends. If it's done within our through the normal Turnitin portal, then it should be done quite quickly, depending on the size of the document. If it's a very, very large document, then it may take a while. If it's a PDF and it doesn't have 20 words of text, if it has no text in it, it will just stay waiting because it won't be able to generate a report because it's not the right file type. If it's through Moodle, it could also be that within Moodle, sometimes there is something called I believe it's called like a task, run task function. And the way that Moodle works with its plugins is if you plug in Moodle to Turnitin, it will run the reports based on the settings. And sometimes the settings could be run the reports every day or run the report every hour. Some people have it set to run the report every 5 minutes. So it depends on the settings as well.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Maybe I will return to the previous question, and I would like to add some words in Slovak. Len k tým diplomovkám, k tomu verziovaniu, aby som to zhrnul takto v slovenčine. Najistejšie je naozaj si v tom postupe urobiť poriadok v tom, že tie pracovné verzie sa treba nebudú indexovať, že to v tom Moodle zakážete indexovať a povolíte indexovať vlastne až pri submitovaní tej finálnej práce. A tá druhá možnosť, ktorá tam je stále otvorená, neviem, či tam ešte, že som medzi tým spomenul, je, že vy ten dokument viete z tej databázy Turnitinu na základe toho čísla toho dokumentu vymazať, teda administratóri to vedia vymazať. Takže ktorýkoľvek pedagóg, ak má pocit, že sa mu tam nahromadili práce, ktoré by tam nemali byť, stále sa mu to porovnáva, musí to odklikávať, že to teda je v poriadku, lebo je to nejaká predošlá, tak stačí vziať tie čísla tých dokumentov a z tej databázy sa dajú odstrániť. A posledná poznámka k tomu ukladaniu do tej databázy Turnitinu je nastavená tak, že je vaša interná, to znamená, porovnávate s ňou iba vy, neporovnávajú sa iné univerzity s tými prácami, ktoré si tam vy uploadnete. I can see a question in the chat. Can you see it, Jose?
Yeah, of course, about ChatGPT. So it's a long answer. So we knew about AI writing for a couple of years. Obviously there was GPT-3 and so on, and well, GPT-2 and everything else. So there's been many versions of GPT. It just hasn't been used as easily until now, when they released ChatGPT, because they build tools to integrate. And ChatGPT, obviously anyone can use very easily. Just go to the website if it's not at capacity, and then you can get ChatGPT to write you something. So we knew about this technology. So we've been building something for a while, and it's almost ready. So we have an early version that will be released within the next couple of months. And it will be able to detect if the writing was done by ChatGPT, if it was done by a human. And the way that our tool will work is our tool is tuned for academic writing. So it's looking at, it's able to be a lot more accurate than the one that GPT-0 will be able to do, because it's more focused on academic writing, which their tool probably won't be able to do quite so accurately. So we should have something within the next couple of months that you'll be able to see, and we'll be doing a press release when that is available. Fantastic. Okay, so Does anyone else have any questions at all on anything that we've covered at all?
Maybe short questions. What about picture schemes, diagram similarity check?
So that's not on our roadmap for now. We really do focus on text similarity. So it's not on the roadmap right now, but it might come back on the roadmap in the future. It was something we were potentially going to look at, but not for some time.
Thanks.
No problem. Okay. So if anyone does have any other questions at any time, you can always email me or Ladislav. If you want to email in Slovak, that's not a problem. He'll be able to send me that through as well. But if you do have any questions at all, please get in touch. We always want to help you as much as we can. And we hope this has been valuable for you.
So, Jason, maybe a question concerning using your web portal,
Yeah.
web page. Is it something special that users has to know, or it's very intuitive?
It's very intuitive. Basically, all you have to do is create a folder and then upload a document. It's super straightforward. They literally just have to log in. You would add them as a user. So the administrator, you would add them as a user. They then log in, create a folder, and then upload the file. So it's very intuitive. There is guidance on our website as well that you can use that would guide you through it. It's very, very simple. It's actually less than what I just showed you right now. It's even easier than that.
Okay, thank you.
No problem at all. Do you have any other questions at all? Okay. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Like I say, if you have any questions at any point, please get in contact with us. We will obviously put you in contact with the administrator via Ladislav as well, the account manager, so that you can get that conversation going about the integration. But thank you very much for your time this morning or this afternoon for you, and hopefully I'll see you all again soon.
Ešte raz veľmi pekne ďakujem za váš čas, ktorý ste dnes s nami strávili. Jason, thank you very much.
No problem.
Nice
Thanks
day.
very much, everyone. You too.